Hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of Xah Talk Show. We are going to code JavaScript, just like 2 days ago or last week. JavaScript in depth. Okay, let me introduce my keyboards. Ultimate Hacking Keyboard UHK80, Nulia trackball, and that's Logitech mouse, Logitech 502. This is Nulia something 507, I think 505, model name 505. Fantastic. That's my favorite trackball. And here is the Svalboard, Svalboard. Okay, magnetic key switches, and press Svalboard, Svalboard. So you can search them. I have video reviews on my YouTube. Okay, so let's switch to my normal screen, and so let's begin coding. So I'm just gonna code. So let's switch to my normal screen. Now, if you are watching this offline, play at 1.5 speed minimum. If you are watching this live, say hi. Okay, say hi here. Love to see your comments. Okay, so we're gonna do JavaScript coding. So here's my website, xahlee.info, xahlee.info, and Xah Talk Show. So today's talk show. So I introduce you JavaScript in depth. That's most in depth, easy to understand tutorial on JavaScript. Okay, there are about 700 pages. Okay, JavaScript in depth. And let's go back. So then you got JavaScript style guide, which we did live 2 or 3 days ago. And so Unicode search, we was demonstrating that yesterday, so we don't need that link. So let's start to code. Okay, so actually let me move this here. Can you hear me? Okay, my microphone. Okay, so talk, search for Unicode. We don't need to show the Unicode search. Okay, so Ultimate Hacking Keyboard, that is my keyboard. So there is video reviews, 1 hour, and textual review, and with lots of high quality photograph in every detail of this keyboard. One of my favorite, but it's quite expensive. Okay, Ultimate Hacking Keyboard UHK80. And if you don't know, I have a keyboard blog where there are over 1,000 articles on all sort of things you want to know about keyboards, especially ergonomic keyboards. Okay, and I particularly like to shout out to Glove 80. Fantastic. Okay, I've been using them live for like 3 years, in the past 3 years. And Kinesis 360 also pretty good. Okay, and Kinesis Advantage 2, I've been live blogging it. I've been using it for almost 10 years, and on live stream for like 2 years. Okay, and Expose, I also highly recommend. So search for Xah Lee keyboard blog, you will find it. So there's a blog, there is do-it-yourself keyboards, there is normal kind of keyboard or kind of fancy keyboard. There is pen input, which I'm right now using, this one. With that one is Huyang H60. I mean H640P drawing tablet, very cheap. Okay, so that's what I'm using. Fantastic. And okay, that's enough about keyboard introduction. So just search for my website. Let's show. Okay, so and Nulia trackball. So you can see all sort of. So this is Nulia trackball I'm using here, and can you? Okay, so let's see. Okay, now you can see, and you click on trackball, so you can see all sort of trackball reviews. Okay, there are a few hundred of them, and also trackball history. So let's magnify. Alt space S, then give them some room to show extra row. Okay, So all trackballs, and then you can go to trackball history. Then you got like 1,000 small trackballs. And one more thing I want to show you is the keyboard layout. So that's another obsessive topic among certain groups of nerds. So there's laptop keyboard layouts, very interesting detail. For example, Microsoft started to remove the staggering. So on Microsoft laptop keyboard, the stagger is smaller than the normal, the typical, stagger, like the slant of the vertical column of keys, less, okay? And also Chromebook also has a major revolution because they removed the caps lock key and they removed the window key. So they made it simpler, and basically they removed the function keys, like do not include the function keywords. Okay, so there are some evolutions of laptop keyboards, and one thing I wanted to mention, so there is keyboard history. One thing I want to mention is the keyboard layout. Okay, so actually so many things I want to keyboard layout. So I'm using, so you got QWERTY, which is normal for everyone. Then you got Vorak, Cormac. Then you got newer ones like Hallmark, Grammar, Canary. So keyboard layout. And another popular topic is about mechanical key switches. Okay, so you can find that by key switch. So there's like tens of articles on everything you want to know about keyboard key switches. Okay, so that's my introduction to my keyboard blog. There are like 1,000 pages. So you can see there's 1,400 pages on keyboards, everything about keyboard layout, mouse. Okay. So, but now, okay. So now let's begin. Can we begin coding JavaScript? Let's see. Okay, let's start. Okay, I'm using Emacs, as you know, of course, the most advanced, powerful text editor. And as I type all the commands, course, you can see on the pink window, you see, and the keystroke on the left, I'm using a Vorak keyboard layout, which I was gonna show you. Vorak keyboard layout. If you don't know what that is, you go to Xah keyboard blog, then you go to keyboard layout. There it is. Then there's ergonomic keyboard layouts. I am using Vorak. You can see the circles are frequency of the letter occurrence. So normally on QWERTY, you have to move your fingers all over. But if you use Vorak or Cormac or any of the other ergonomic keyboard layout, it's more efficient. So I'm using Vorak. So you can see. So whenever I type something in Emacs, you see the keystrokes are shown on the left on the pink window. Okay. So okay, let's start to code JavaScript. Okay, for those of you JavaScript advanced, this is advanced JavaScript. Hello, informaticist. You should do 0 AD mods. People would like it. 0 AD mods. What does that mean? 0 AD. I know what's a home mode, but what is 0 AD mode? So why not Linux? Oh God, are you trolling? Because that's, I've been answering that question 1,000 times in the past 5 years of my live stream. So just go to YouTube, Xah Lee, my name, search for Linux or Unix. You will find quite a few videos, 1 hour long, my rant about that topic. Linux, or which operating system is better? Should you use Linux or Mac or Windows or the the lots of which distro, that kind of Linux questions. Are you trolling? Are you saying that because you seeing people trying to ask me that question? So he thinks Linux is a scam to rip off developers, getting them to work for free. No, that's not what I think. I don't think that's true. Anyway, I'm not gonna talk about Linux today. So love Cormac, okay? So let's do JavaScript. So this is advanced JavaScript. So every hour or every hour or so, I have alarm clock set up. So every hour I get up and walk back and forth, to and fro, and take notes on my iPad. I read my own tutorials because I have like 10,000 pages on mathematics and programming languages written over the past 25 years. So, so I update them often. So let's go to JavaScript in depth. So, but I need to update them, sometimes improve it. So every hour or two, I walk back and forth and take notes. And these are things that I need to change. Okay. So let's work on them. So let me just work on them. As I work on them, I will give you guys some tips, what I'm doing, and about the technical details about JavaScript. Okay. So that is the introduction to what we are doing in this video. Okay, so let's begin. So do not dot notation associativity. So that there is a interesting question. Okay, so let's go to, okay. So let me just start to work on. Okay, let me show you. Wait. Okay, copy the link and so let's paste the link here and search for that. Okay, new, good. So there's an interesting question. Now look at this. Okay, very interesting. If you say x dot z, does that mean x dot y? I mean, if you have x dot y dot z, does that mean x dot y happens first or x dot z happen first? If x dot z returns a value, then x dot that key returns another value. So the question is, look at the quiz, which one it returns first. Okay, that is the question about these notes. Okay, now what I'm saying to myself is that I need to add link to this page, dot notation associativity, right or left. Very interesting JavaScript. Test yourself. Okay, if you are a JavaScript coder, look at the screen, test your knowledge. But I'm gonna tell you the answer, kind of. Okay, so if you go here, actually I'm not gonna tell you the answer. Okay, so anyway, this I just wanted to, for myself, I wanted to make a link to this page from the page about property dot notation versus bracket notation. We'll talk about that later. Okay, so this one is done. Delete. So number is none. Okay, so there's a bunch of things I like to do. So let's see, showing browser. So close, back, close, showing browser. So this, let's go to the top section. This is my web dev blog. Okay, associativity. So we did that one, and so is none. Okay, so search for none. So copy path, close, paste the link, linkify, make a list, showing browser. So we got a is none. So on the none page, so JavaScript got a none value. None is a literal value. Literal means you can just type it. Okay, you can type it. So shift, shift control I to start the browser console, and you can just type NaN. What? Why can't I type anything? Okay, so NaN, does it? Okay, none. Okay, so you should completion. So if you enter that, so that's a literal value. So that none, which stand for not a number, and that value, this value is belong to the type number, just like 1, 1.2 or 3. So all these are number values, type number. Okay, so none is one of the number. Okay, and this number means not a number. Okay, so this value typically is returned when you have division by 0, like 1 divided by divided by 0. Sometimes that returns infinity. I forgot which one. Okay, so none is one of the value. So you can, what I want to do is, so actually I need to do this quickly because there are so many. So all these pages, special literals, okay, all these are special literal values. I want to change the console log to console assert, okay. So let's open the NAM page and search for topic. So all these topics showing browser. So you can see all these topics. Now press the key, press all the links are extracted. Now press the key to close it. Now go down here, paste it. So here's all the links. Now linkify them all. Okay, so it's now all linked. Now make them into a list. Now go to the top. Now we don't need the NAN, so actually delete the NAN, but go to the NAN page showing browser, and now go back and update the date, search for log, pop this out. So we got this code evaluated. So it says true. That's because we are doing console.log. Now change that to console.assert, which means it will print only if the value is not true. Okay, if it's true, that means it's okay. Don't print anything. So console log assert, run it. So now it doesn't print anything. That's what we want. So we are replacing console.log by console.assert because this way is more clear on what's the intention of the code. We are just saying that this should return true. If it returns true, then don't do anything. Everything is good. If it's return is not true, then actually print. So if you say, for example, so if you change to something, let's say 33, then run it, it will say assertion failed. You see. So okay, so we want to clarify. So convert a string to number, XX constant, convert a string if arg does not make sense, result is none. So this result is actually none, okay? So yeah, so that makes it clear, okay? Run it, fantastic. Put it back, syntax correct, showing browser. So we made a change, okay? So we want to make this console log to console assert on all these navigation box pages. Now, all these articles are related to special literals, meaning that like a value, a literal expression, literal means you can type that value directly in the programming language, such as true and false in JavaScript, and undefined is also a literal value. Undefined, you can just type it. You know, literally, it's a value. So that's what these literal special literal values are, and these are special ones. You got undefined, you got null, you got so undefined in general in JavaScript is just anything. If you access an array, you know, let's say you have array 1, 2, 3, but you access array item number, you know, 100th, it doesn't exist. That will return undefined instead of error. In many programming languages, it will return error. It will say index out of bound. But in JavaScript, it doesn't generate error. It just return undefined. Okay, so lots of like anytime you access non-existent index to an array or out of bound, you know, also known as out of bound array, or if you access a key in a property that doesn't exist, the key doesn't exist, it will return undefined. Or when a function doesn't have a return value, return statement, it return undefined. Okay, so you can see the full detail like is explained on this page. What is undefined? Okay, type of undefined, which undefined, the value, literal value undefined, it's a literal value, meaning you can type it directly. And the type of this value belongs to a special type called undefined. The only type of that value is undefined. So that's that. Okay, then purpose of undefined, you know, variable doesn't have a value, that's return undefined. non-existent property, accessing array element that doesn't exist. When function argument is not given, the parameter is undefined. Okay, the parameter received is undefined, or the function return value is not defined. So then examples showing them. Okay, does that make sense? 0AD is a video game, like 100% of the game logic is in JavaScript. Oh, really? So let's see, 0AD. 0AD, a free open source game of Asian something. A real-time strategy video game under development by Wildfire Games. It is a historical war and economy game focusing on the years between 500 BC, before Christ, and 1 BC, before Christ, Jesus Christ. Okay, that's what BC means. And they are trying to change it to BCE. By the way, a bit digression, okay? So you see, so 0AD, okay, is real-time game. So what is this? JavaScript and C++, okay? So what are you saying? I should what? Oh, God. I might have missed it, but is your keyboard configured for QWERTY or something else? It's Vorak. I was talking about Vorak. So 0AD is a video game, like 100% of game logic is JavaScript. Okay, that's interesting. So free and open source, composed entirely of free software. And okay, so but oh, that's interesting though. It's and so began in 2001. Wow, that's ancient. Okay, so I will check it out later. Okay. So go to talk show. Okay, so we digressed. We haven't started to do our thing yet, so this is gonna take a long time. So anyway, today's talk show, we added a link about the 0AD. Okay, and I fed your website into Claude code and created an agent that codes like you. How is it? So I'm mostly a functional programmer, and my code is typically extremely functional and kind of clean. So how does the Claude come out? Is it impressive? I don't trust AI. AI is very smart today. You can ask it lots of technical questions about programming, even about esoteric topics. It will give you the right answer. For example, I know about JavaScript, and I do, sometimes I have questions. You can ask AI will come out correctly. Okay, even esoteric JavaScript questions. But when you ask it to code, unless it's like a toy problem, like how do you generate an array, but so for toy problems, often it'll work. Like how do you create an array, or how do you do something? But for something like a project, that when it's a little bit involved, usually it'll just come out wrong. The code won't run, and it will be elaborate. Like you hear a story, generate entire game, or refactored all your files, tens of files, 100 files. It all looks nice, but it doesn't run. It's like just one fucked up fuck. So that's what I heard. And as far as my experience goes, that's also true. When it gets slightly complicated, it's not gonna work. Okay. So I hear a lot of people talk about Claude. I never used it, so I don't know anything about Claude. The only I use AI a lot, like tremendously. In fact, I think it's beneficial to force yourself to talk to AI. So like on Twitter, for example, on Twitter, every time you talk to, whatever you do on Twitter, you browse, you see posts, right? You see posts one after another about all sort of things, about programming, about politics, about dating, about history, about, anything. Vast majority of it is just shit. Okay, it just like bullshit. It tramples your brain. It just destroys your brain. Okay, so anything you see, so make it a habit. Here's what I want to tell you guys about AI. Any topic on anything. Okay, like if you are on Twitter, I don't know if you are. Maybe you are not. That's a good thing. But there's a lot of other social networks or so, but basically here's the thing. Anytime, try this, anytime you hear another person, maybe online, especially online, or even your friend or your family, anytime a person are saying something about something, you go ask AI about it. Okay, like just keep like write this down and check, today, whoever you talk to, what is the topic, ask AI about it. Do this every day. You'll be surprised. What kind of things you'll find out. Okay, because first of all, on social media such as Twitter, 90% of the posts is just shit. Okay, and especially those, because if it's not shit, it won't spread. Okay, that's because the algorithm will only spread things that are dramatic, clickbait, anger, or fake news, or blatant, claim, it's like discovery or something. They only make those popular, or girls, tits and ass, or whatever. Okay, or violence. Okay, so by the nature of the algorithm, because human, we have, by evolution, we simply pay attention to things that is more dramatic, because that it more relates to danger. Okay, so anyway, so anything on Twitter, 90% is just shit. But even besides Twitter, even when you talk to average normal people, your friends, your coworkers, the human's brain, the human's knowledge of things is like minimal. It's like it's like pitiful. Okay, you can kind of think of it. It's like pitiful. And today we have AI. So, when you talk to AI, the AI knows not 10 times more than you, not 100 times, not 1,000 times. It's like the AI knows like not even 1,000,000 times. It knows things that it is incomprehensible to you. Okay, that's what I'm saying. So today, why am I saying this? Because if you are on Twitter or other online social media like Reddit or whatever, you will hear people that's today's reaction. They will say, "Oh, don't I stopped interacting with anyone who do anything with AI. AI is slob." Their opinion is that you should never talk to AI. That's idiotic. Okay, it's not just their reaction. Those people who say that they are like the brainless. They are a movement with the flaw. They are like the brainless kind of, every era you have these, it's common. They are just brainless people. They just pass on. Okay, that's a common opinion when you talk to, especially among programmers. I dislike anyone who talk to AI. You shouldn't use AI. Those are idiots. Okay, I'm telling you guys this special interesting story. So, not just in fact, you should force yourself to ask AI questions. Okay. Now, of course, there are you need to pay attention about the truthfulness of AI answers. So you cannot trust AI, of course, but that's also important. But that gets you into, basically that is not that is a bit more complex. It's like, who can you trust? Like when you talk to a person, can you trust that person? And what kind of things can you trust that person? For example, I'm talking about programming. I'm talking about right now AI, or I'm talking about JavaScript coding, right? Can you trust me? How do you know? How can how do I know, my advice, my tips about JavaScript is good? So that's about JavaScript. That's about me. But what about other things, about lifestyle, about what books to read, about what to do, about dating, about your life's plan? Who can you trust? So that's a broader question about about AI or about person. So that's the so in fact, so if you think of this way, then you can kind of get an idea when can you trust AI, just like a person. When you think about like the topic, what is the topic, who can you trust, you apply that to the person, whoever you talk to. It may be your family, your teacher, or your friends, or whoever online, random people, or it could be a machine. You can just think of it this way, then you're like immediately realize what kind of things from what source you can trust. Okay. So anyway, that's a huge digression about AI. Are we gonna go back to code JavaScript because because now we already talked for 30 minutes about like AI stuff. So let's see. AI have lots of errors. Also, you need to learn how to check information exactly and what subjective or not exactly. So very impressive, interesting. Okay, so Xah Lee agent code, very functional and inspirational. Today, Xah Lee agent coded app to solve Fibonacci. Oh, really? Oops. Okay, so Fibonacci, that's some next level stuff, like freaking quantum. Fibonacci is Fibonacci is the most elementary coding problem. But one day AI will start recommending their paying sponsors. That's true. You see, so I've been, I just recommended you guys to interact with AI. But of course, there's another aspect. AI is this massive brainwashing machine. Okay. It's on road to become, basically they are the most powerful brainwashing machine. Especially the nasty, huge mega corporations like Google, Facebook, and deep state, tied with USA government. It's very extremely nasty. Okay, because just like imagine Google search engine. Before we had AI 3 years ago. Before the chat GPT, the chat bots, AI bots became popular. But we have Google web search, right? And Facebook. This massive amount of censorship, brainwashing, okay, going on, including controlling the USA election. Okay, we are starting to get into politics. So massive, and actually directly, why all this misery? Why do they lie? Well, actually, it involves ultimately it involves some war, killing people. Okay, that's actually what it traces to. And why do they do that? Because money. So they want to make more money. Somebody. Okay. So so these corporations, USA and elsewhere. So in AI, since 3 years ago, ChatGPT and AI, became very powerful. So AI is now taking over Google web search. Like today, very fewer web search is basically replaced by AI now, right? So Google, Facebook, they have very powerful AI, and also the one I use is from Elon Musk, Grok. Okay, I use Grok the most, and sometimes I use also Brave. I recommend Brave browser. Okay, for example, if you search anything, search my name, Xah Lee, Brave browser, and you can ask, ask AI. Brave has a AI called Leo. Brave's, AI is called Leo. Xah Lee is a self-taught programmer, something. Okay, so all this AI, AI become tremendously useful, but they are also a very powerful brainwashing machine, because this is in a way it's going to the most massive brainwashing machine possible and the most powerful. They just gonna control the earth. Okay, they control every information. So the situation, the scenario is that people stop reading books anymore. Like we don't, you don't talk to we don't talk to people anymore. We don't read books. We don't read Wikipedia. We just ask AI. AI is so convenient. Yeah, anything you can just ask AI. So gradually, or even in a way, so AI is gonna lie to you, and you don't even know it. That's already happening. Of course, that's already happening when you ask certain things about politics or sensitive topics. When you ask, for example, on Google's Gemini, Google's AI bot, or the Facebook AI bot, okay, or the Chat GPT, what kind of questions, any question related to USA government policies, or for example, about the trans issue, about, feminism, whatever. So you get, the result, the answer you get is, let's say, not exactly fair. Okay. And also, what is fair exactly? That's a very complex question. Okay. So AI is this massive brainwashing machine. Of course, you need to, it's very critical. You need to pay attention. I'm not telling you just to listen to AI. But you need to pay attention, but you need to know who is behind what AI. In fact, there is a big war going on between Elon Musk and the Chat GPT guy. What's his name? He's a extreme scum. Okay, the Chat GPT guy, Sam Altman. Okay, his name popped up right here. Can you see? Trending Sam Altman. He's one of the most extreme scum, dangerous person on earth. Okay, I would say even more than Bill Gates. Okay, the Sam Altman. Okay, so Elon Musk is also the richest guy, and he is right now having a war with Sam Altman, because Elon Musk's idea is that he's gonna create AI. We need a open source AI, because AI is becoming extremely powerful and dangerous. So we need, according to Elon Musk, we need an AI that's open source. So any person can open source and supposedly open weights, which is another critical thing about AI. The most important thing is about the weights, actually. Anyway, so Elon Musk's idea is that we need open source AI, so that he and Sam Altman, he contributed, like donated millions of dollars to begin the Open AI company. Open in the name. Open AI, meaning we started this company so that the goal of our company, Open AI, is that we have open source AI machine that anyone can benefit, so we can fight the corporate closed source AI. So when AI become very powerful, we also have our AI machine, Open AI, that we can fight whatever lies may be there, right? But Sam Altman sold out. Sam Altman closed sourced it, the OpenAI, and basically sold his soul to Microsoft. But I think it's more than that. He's, in my opinion, okay, all these are my opinion only, he's extremely evil and ambitious guy. His goal is not just like, getting some money from Microsoft. He's more than that, okay? Very extreme scum, in my opinion, the Sam Altman. Okay, they are, so this is very actually dangerous, because there are people dead. There's an employee who supposedly suicide That's a big topic. Okay, if you guys pay attention, but you don't know how exactly he died. Okay, that was a guy who worked for OpenAI. Okay, so there's a Elon Musk and this guy is right now is doing big lawsuit. Anyway, so okay, so I don't think we're gonna go back to JavaScript because we started to mostly talk about AI. Yeah. So, but in summary, I wanted to, I just wanted to talk about something about AI, such that I recommend you should talk with AI. If someone tells you, oh, you shouldn't do anything AI, they are just idiots. Okay, you should get involved with AI. In fact, you should ask so much. You should force yourself to ask AI questions. Okay, about programming or anything. Just like ask AI questions. Okay, that's one important thing. You want to get involved. You want that will AI will increase your learning abilities by 2 times at least. Okay, it will increase your learning abilities by twice as fast at minimum. Okay, it's like if you don't use the right tool. For example, if you're writing code, and if all you can use is a notepad, notebook, you are not going to go far. Okay, tool is very important, critical. If you are a programmer and you are forced to use the Node, the Microsoft Node, you can't do anything. Okay, significant. So AI. So what I'm saying is that you should ask AI, make AI useful to you, for you. Okay, just keep asking it questions. It will increase your learning abilities twofold minimum. That's what I'm saying. On the other hand, it is also very critical to know that AI is a massive brainwashing machine in a massive scale. So they can control the thinking of all human animals on Earth. And it might happen. Right now, we don't know yet, but it could one day. It's like we all live in a lie. You don't know. So that is also very critical. So what you need to know, you need to kind of know who is behind what AI, what sort of questions you can trust. So you need to pay attention on what kind of things or what kind of answer you can trust AI or not, or from what AI. Just keep that in mind. Okay, so that's the two things I want to recommend to people. Okay, I think that's it. I was gonna do JavaScript, but I wanted to do a lot of interesting JavaScript, but I guess that no, there's a lot of JavaScript I want to do. To do this will take more than 1 hour. Actually 1 hour. So, but okay, that's it. Let's let today just be AI stuff. Okay. On the topic of learning, Xah, have you ever used any kind of flashcard system? No, not really. Yeah, I never used flashcard. I suppose it could be useful. Yeah. Oddman is so amazingly arrogant and deceptive. Yes, very dangerous guy. Smaller local models. The problem, another thing interesting about AI is that local model is that one time, about half a year ago, I did live stream install local models of AI. We installed, you can look at my past talk show, and so past year. So we did 2025 and search for deep. So we in 2025 April, episode 648. and several of them we install DeepSeek, okay, DeepSeek or Llama. So it turns out one problem with the local model is that it's puny. It's like because you need powerful GPUs and GPUs and CPU. But if you don't have like $10,000 machine or 20,000 or actually 100,000 machine, whatever you do, the local model, the quality, the AI answers, their result is not comparable to you simply ask the web version. Like the very significant, the difference is very significant in their quality. Okay, so that made me so that's an issue with the local AI. So that's a problem with the local AI. Recommendation for how to study coding or anything you want to learn. Well, I mean, so the foremost thing is just the desire to learn something. If you really want to, that's some foremost importance. Okay, once you have that desire, everything just comes. Okay, so recommendation, study coding. There are so many aspects, like what resource you can, there's video. How do you choose books, or should you watch videos instead, or should you have a schedule or whatever? So many aspects. Okay, but the most important is like where do you have the desire? Do you really have strong desire to really you want to know something? If you have that desire, everything just solves itself. Okay, that's the most important. So if you want to study coding, why? Is because your parent told you to, your friend told you to, code is interesting, or is it something you just somehow find yourself interested in? Or if you want to get into something but you are right now not interested, for example, let's say I want to know about law. Lawyers they are always powerful. They are actually the most, in general, lawyers are kind of the scum type of people on earth. Okay, lawyers, because lawyers by nature, by definition, they are the type of people, they have the most power, because and that's what they want. Okay, that's for whatever reasons, family background, upbringing, certain people, they go into lawyers, or some people, go to coding, programmers, mathematicians, scientists like us. Some people go to carpenters, some, they're good at that. Some go to acting or whatever, or, all sort of trades and walks of life. But there's a group, of course, they are lawyers, and they are, so for example, if I want to know more about law, right, how do I get interested in that? I don't know. Usually there is something, right? If you just force me to, I mean, I don't have the interest. I don't really have the interest in learning about law much, right? But if there's something happened, let's say I got into an argument with landlord or whatever, and I started to, maybe in the beginning I wanted to know some answer, how, what is the law regarding this situation. Then I got involved, then maybe I started to want to know more. So that's one example, how you get into, how you started to have a desire for something. Okay, so that's an example. Okay. Okay, so is it very important to learn or keep code well organized and structured, to write code that is easy to search through? Writing code in patterns is important because when error occur, you need to fix. it is very important to learn to keep code well organized and structured, to write code that is easy to search through. Writing code in patterns is important because when errors occur, you need to fix it. Okay. So I guess that's your opinion. Okay. Okay, I think that's it for today. So for those of you who installed local models, how do you deal with the problem? Because local models, it runs on your machine, but your machine is usually not powerful. So how do you deal with that? Who was that? Per ghost, per ghost. Okay, bye guys.